this computer. Well, hello and welcome to our second session of Kitchen Table Confidentials. I would like to introduce the co-host Miranda, also known as Lisa Wolf.
Still don't know where that came from.
I still don't know where that came from. You just look like a Miranda at that moment. And I today will be Sonia Workoff.
Sonia?
Sonia Workoff.
Okay.
Workoff.
Okay.
I work off everything I need to. No. Okay. Anyhow, let's be sensible.
All right, if that's possible.
Okay. What are we talking about today, Miranda?
We're talking about rituals and we're talking about cycles and connections to the past. And um, I feel that you're one of the people who has given me a doorway into that. Because I had this deep longing. But I would look at well, I just realized I was Scottish. So I never thought that I had the right to do any Celtic rituals, right? And so you've helped open the door to that. And, I do a lot of energy work to get rooted. But the rooting that occurs when we bring forth the rituals of our ancestors is that is it roots us in the past
Hmm?
and it also roots us in the future. And
Yes.
right now, with what's happening on the planet, we need to be rooted. And, with everything that's going on, seems like it would be easier to be not.
Mhm.
But it is
Well,
where
and this
we,
is this is where we get people who are doing the spiritual bypass, right?
yeah.
Or the whole, just think happy thoughts. Let's do some affirmations. I'm like, well, that's not being realistic. That's not being rooted.
Hmm.
Being rooted means you're fully grounded, you are connected. And the phrase I use with a lot of clients, because a lot of the people that you and I both work with are what I would classify as highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive. And so if they haven't learned healthy boundaries, then they're just like sponges. And so, the news and what happened at the grocery store or their partner said, and they just absorb it. And then to try and rid yourself of all that. Well, so if one is rooted with very healthy boundaries, it then it taps you into your sovereignty and it allows you to observe and not absorb.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so yeah, ritual, and I mean I love ritual and ceremony, as you know. And to me, when people say, how do you do ritual? And I go, you live it. It's a day, you embody it. It's a day-to-day thing. And people are like, well, I should go buy all this stuff for rituals. No, it could be every night. When work is done, I change my footwear. I change my jumper. So it's like a transition. I'm crossing a threshold. And
Hmm.
I light a candle and I send out a blessing to the home, anybody in the home, the community, the neighborhood, the city. I just send it out. And that is a simple ritual that I do every damn day. And it keeps me connected, and there are so many places in our lives that, how would I put it? We're taught to push, like go, go, go. We're very much being cultured to be in that masculine energy of, something happens, we don't really spend the time with it. So when you make a big move across the country, right? Or your kids all leave home, or somebody dies, or all of these tiny, they're not tiny, all of these are thresholds
Yeah.
and they're transitions. And it's vital for us to honor them. and to honor ourselves and not expect that we just blow through it and it's all going to be okay, because then that gets programmed into our nervous system and will come and bite us in the ass a bit later.
Well, and isn't that what we've been taught, is just to go, 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 and there's
Hmm.
it's Groundhog Day every day because we're always behind. We're always trying to make up for something. And that goes back to the question of original sin, because we can never make it up, can we?
No,
Never, especially women. There's no
no,
way, right? But
no.
we have that persistent feeling that we're behind, that we forgot something.
Yeah, or that, and it also comes into that divisive scarcity mentality too. That if I'm not out there pushing, somebody else is going to get what I'm meant to have, and so I must be out there and pushing, 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 and I'll throw things at the wall and hope they stick and they're worthwhile. There's no intention, there's no rootedness, there's no the beautiful thing about a threshold for me is it's the place where you pause,
Mm-hmm.
where you just and you can look forward, you can look back, you can look to the sides, you can just be. And then that allows so much more of an integrated, rooted,
Mm-hmm.
embodied movement forward. And sometimes the best movement is no movement, you know? And
And that's
again, we're,
certainly not something our culture teaches
oh,
us.
God, no, no. It's like, no, no, no. What do you mean you're resting? What's the matter with you? Are you sick? Are you having a mental health day? And it was funny because I used to do that with my kids when they were younger. Um, they would come up, get up in the morning and we'd be chatting, and I would allow each of them one mental health day a month. They could call it any time they like. I need a mental health day, and I just can't today. And so they would stay home, they would watch cartoons, they'd color, they'd read a book, and they'd just regroup,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I
I
think
did
that's
that
fun.
with Andy, and some of his most vivid memories of childhood is those days,
Hmm.
right? And
Right?
talks about it.
Yeah.
And what occurs to me, what keeps bubbling up, is the effect on the central nervous system, right? Because
Huge.
this is something which, we too often forget that when we're trying to do this personal development and, we're doing all this spiritual work, we have to bring our body along with us.
Hmm.
And the act of ritual, right, creating that sacred space
Hmm.
and really creating beauty
Hmm.
is so
Yes.
important for us as humans. And this is one of my big rants, because beauty is not something that's incidental or frivolous, right, as
Hmm.
people who are taking away funding from the arts say. It is crucial to being a human being, right?
Huge.
And
Huge.
so, ritual has impact in so many different ways, and it allows our bodies to catch up.
It really does. And it's interesting because not only do I do ritual and ceremony with clients, and I do it with all the various types of women's circles that I hold, but, as a lay chaplain, I'm on the forefront there of, whether it's doing a wedding, whether it's doing a naming. I've done ceremony for somebody claiming a different gender,
Mhm.
because they want to really embody that. Like we have done ceremonies for so many situations, threshold moments, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And even one for there was a lovely older woman who had a dog for 15 years. This was her compatriot, and the dog died, and she was totally bereft. And of course, everybody's like, it was a dog. What does it matter? And so I created a beautiful ceremony for her. And that she found that so supportive and helpful. And it ties into, as you said, like all the different cycles, like the seasonal living, right? So here we are in winter, where we're meant to be kind of cocooning and incubating, planning, not dashing around like mad fiends. This is why they get really pissed off about Christmas and New Year's resolutions. It's at the wrong time of year.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
we have the seasonal part. Then we also have divine timing. And we all have said that, divine timing, yes, divine timing. But divine timing actually has certain steps.
Mhm.
But most humans get stuck on the third step, which is self-responsibility.
Hmm.
And then they want to go from that step to something totally different. And they never actually go through the huge, well, it's not huge, they never go through the whole divine timing cycle. And when you do that, you experience massive transformation and transmutation. And once you get used to working within the divine timing cycle, you can do it daily, you could do it yearly, you could. So you have seasonal, you have body cycles, you have moon cycles, and people are like, this is too much. And it's like, but think about it,
It interweaves, yeah.
they interweave, you
So,
know?
so you said that there are three steps. What are those?
No, no, there are 8 steps to
Oh,
the
eight
divine
steps.
timing cycle.
All right.
But what I'm saying is most people get stuck on step 3, which is
Right.
when you really have to step into that place of self-responsibility.
All right. I
And
was just saying that I wasn't responsible with, I wasn't responsible. I wasn't familiar with the divine timing cycle.
yeah. And I mean, and it's so fascinating because once you kind of you go through we will do this in a mastermind thing,
Group
but
program.
it's yeah, whatever we're calling it, we still haven't figured it out. But like there's the yearly energy, like this is an 8-year, right? Amplification. And this is so if you've been a people pleaser, holy Hannah, it's going to be stuck in your face so badly because this is a year about really stepping into your own
Mhm.
power and strength, and really consulting your inner warriors, your goddess, which again comes into being rooted, right? And trusting self.
Well, and isn't that exactly the theme that came forward in the Omen days? Like
Mhm.
card after card and whisper after whisper. It was exactly the same thing, standing in our power. And I know that a lot of us experienced kind of I don't know, a mudslide of disgustingness, all of the things that needed to come to the surface so that we could, purge them, right? I
Yeah,
definitely had that happen. It was rough, but it also just shed light on where I was people pleasing and where I was
mhm.
not speaking up for myself. And I found it extraordinary because, as you know, I'm not a shrinking violet, but
No, you're not.
I found these places, these corners in myself where
Mhm.
really I had betrayed myself. And I'd been doing it for so long that I didn't recognize it.
We normalize it, right? We normalize it because that's what we're cultured to do, and everybody else is doing it. And when we start, because this too, like when COVID hit, I remember saying we're going through a massive paradigm shift. We are moving from a patriarchal into a divine feminine, but a divine feminine meeting the divine masculine in a very healthy way.
Mhm,
Like so much more of a flow,
mhm.
and we are in that now. So I have so many women come to me who really they have, I mean, I'm going to use the phrases, but they drive me nuts a bit. They have a mother wound, a sister wound, a witch wound, but there is a wounding in their femininity. So
Yeah,
they kind of push it down and they work from a masculine place
mhm,
because they see the feminine as weak or insufficient. So there's a whole cycle there. And
yeah.
when we kind of go right into the yoni of it all, into that womb space and start pulling that out, yeah, there are going to be some sticky pieces. Fabulous, because the container's already been created that everything is safe, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there are so many pieces oh, it's very exciting.
Well, and the planet is really everything is asking us to step up, right? The
Yeah,
astrological symbols. I mean, I'm normally not. I mean, I just don't know enough about it, but the energy totally matches what's happening
yeah.
astrologically, and I just feel like this is what we've been waiting for many
We
years.
have, yeah. And so
It's
so then this, exactly, this is not the year to stick your head in the sand.
Mhm.
Pardon me, for respiratory thing.
Stupid child that gave you it.
Stupid child. Oh, next time I'm gonna wrap his face up in a tea towel and duct tape. You know, but this is not the time to stick a head in the sand. This is the time to really, it's about creating community. It's about stepping into our sovereignty. It's about creating a life filled, thank you, purpose, passion, possibilities, playfulness,
Mm.
prosperity,
Mhm.
right? All of those things from a very healthy feminine place,
Right.
not a wishy-washy, people-pleasing, oh God. And if you look at the Mandela, like if you were to look at divine feminine, or feminine and masculine, you have healthy feminine, healthy masculine, dysfunctional feminine. Most women, I hate to say this, but from all the work that I've done, tend to function from the dysfunctional feminine.
Mhm.
And then when they get stressed, they then go over to the dysfunctional masculine,
Hmm. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
where it's like control everything, control, got to
Mm.
control it all because it's making me uncomfortable because I'm uncomfortable because I haven't done the purge the shit out, So I need to kind of keep stuffing that. And once I stuff that, I need to control situation,
And,
people, persons, whatever.
and it puts us into a competition, right? I think that's one of the most destructive things that's happened to women, right? Is that this is how we're raised to compare ourselves, to look,
Hmm.
at other women to try to get ahead. And that really, that I guess that is the dysfunctional masculine.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a group program, because women, we need community, right? Ritual, one of the most
Yes.
powerful things about it is experiencing it with other people and realizing that we're not alone. These things that we're
Hmm.
going through are not unique to us.
No.
And so it gives us that continuity, it gives us that connection. Um,
Huge. And it weaves. I was writing out about creating a wattle fence, where you weave willow
oh, yeah. Mhm.
to create a garden bed. And that's what happens when women get together.
Mm.
They weave, their energy weaves, and you will find there are women who have been through what you're going through, so they can offer more support. Then there are others that are coming up and about to face that thing. And it's all how it's women are so bloody amazing at weaving
Mm.
if they are willing to be vulnerable and true.
Mhm.
And so it's funny, I was kind of debating my word for the year, and I have grace. And then the other one that came to me the other night was brave.
Mm.
But me being me and loving words, it's bold, responsible, authentic, vulnerable, and empathetic.
Yeah, you love those acronyms. I love it.
Fucking love a man. But that reminds me, be brave, be bold, be responsible, be authentic, be vulnerable.
Mm.
Because when women armor up and are like, no, I, I don't do that. Well, you've just cut the conversation off, right? And you're keeping yourself separate. You're keeping yourself isolated.
Yeah. Yeah, my word is courage. And I don't usually do one word because I think it's so limiting, but courage to me, because it's from the French cour, right? It is
Hmm.
it's not just courage, you're standing out there and being tough. It's having an open heart.
Yes.
And that's really the hardest thing, because, all of us have been wounded. All of
Yeah.
us have experienced the toxic femininity, right? Um,
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was why I actually got my sternum pierced years ago,
mm,
like
mm.
punched in there, right there, to remind me, like I can touch it and I can go, come from the heart, come from the heart. When I'm starting to be way too up in the head
Yeah.
or way too judgmental. But that is part of, we look at the world through mirrors, right? Mirrors of perception. There are 7 or 8 of them. And judgment and comparison is the biggest one for most women. We judge other women, we judge ourselves, we compare other women, we compare ourselves. We are continually in that place. And when one learns how to collapse that mirror,
Mm,
you've just sucked back so much of your power,
mm.
and you've given the gift of power to the other person,
Yep,
to their own power, not yours.
yep.
So yeah. Okay, Miranda, we've talked and talked. We need to do another one. Not right now, but we
I'll be
will.
the Miranda from The Tempest. Oh, brave new world to have such creatures in it.
And on that note, whatever my name was, Sonia Workoff is leaving.
Leaving the building.
I am leaving the building. So yeah, so we do have all those cycles. There are all these pieces. They are all going to be included in our incredible program, and I'm so excited to see the women come through it and just watch them go.
Honestly, I have not been this thrilled with a program ever.
Yeah,
I'm so
right.
excited about it. I can
So
just
am I. So am I. I'm just like, and that's why we've made it a 9-month program, right?
mhm,
Is
mhm.
so that we can do that depth without it being on an overload.
Because it takes
It's not,
time. It takes time to create, the kind of safety where the really big stuff starts coming up.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, and on that note, my darling, we will finish our second episode of Kitchen Table Confidentials. See you next time. Bye bye. How do I stop?